Hey guys, Harry here, back with another day on the garage. This is day 3, so today we're finishing the garage off finally. How we went about building it this time, I built a lot of corners, so both front garage pillars and the corner attached to it was built freehand. I didn't end up using profiles this time, just the way the garage was laid out. And the way I was feeling, some days I'm feeling profiles, some days I'm not. And then we ended up strapping a profile on the rear corner, rear right hand side corner, as you're looking at it from the back. And so we ran the gable in, racked a corner back freehand with the level, and then we put a profile on the far back corner, and then ran into it from the corner we'd already racked back. And built with a level, we ran that straight in, and then built another 15 course corner using the 6-foot level. Recently bought a pack of Magnuson levels from Screwfix, £34 for 4 levels: a boat level, a 2-foot level, a 4-foot, and a 6-foot level. Really handy for different types of work. I find the 6-foot levels really good when you're building the block work on the inside of a house, just getting that reading, and especially when you're building a big corner like I've been building today. I built a 12-course corner, I built a 15-course corner the day before that, and I just find you get a better reading with a 6-foot level when you get to the final 3 or 4 course. It just gives you that little bit of peace of mind that it's true and plumb. And then when you're running in with your string line, you can forget about everything else. You can just move your corner block up. I tend to put a 3/4 over the last brick as like a bit of a semi-tingle every course. It's just something I do out of habit really, but I find a lot of the time with some bricks and some lines, your brick can snag on the arris of the brick. So if you're having a little brick there, as you can see a little half bat in the left-hand corner, just having that little half brick there against the arris of the brick stops the line bouncing as much. I just feel it gives it the line a little bit more stability when you're moving it up. You haven't got to be quite as accurate on your arris. You can just quickly move it up in one motion, trot down to the other end of the line, and carry on, move it up and carry on. That's a big reason why when I was racking back these big corners, it may take a little bit longer overall in the day, but it just makes everything a little bit easier, less thinking sometimes with the corner. And as long as you got your tape measure by your side, you're always checking. You should actually have a more consistent running in. Your joints won't vary as much, but always can depend on your brick. So today I was using the long spread pick and dip method when it comes to running in. Obviously I build my corners traditional, either sometimes front tipping the brick or just putting the joint on the front of the brick, and sometimes I put the joint on the back of the brick depending on the position of the mortar board, on the position I'm stood in as I grab the brick and the gobbo. I don't ever put V's in the spread anymore, no matter what brick I'm laying. Unless it's a Celcon block, I don't put or a Thermalite block, I don't put V's in the spread anymore. I just spread to the thickness I need with the bed, and then I just cut both sides off. So cut the back side off as I lay it down, then cut the front side off as I'm walking back to the edge of the corner, or whichever I'm building the pillar where I'm building something freehand. I was using the long spread pick and dip method today also because we changed silos and the mortar was a little bit more cementy, a little bit more sticky. So either the powder was a little bit old that was in the silo, or they just had a different batch. So sometimes they mix the powder more cementy, and then sometimes it comes more sandy, depending on the supplier. They are tarmac silos, so I do presume that it's tarmac powder that goes in them. But it can vary from batch to batch whether whichever the company's brought the batch from, they could have gone into the factory where they get the powder and used like an older batch. So it can affect your day considerably. And like I was laying these bricks this morning on the new silo, And compared to last night, I was having a lot more difficulty just manoeuvring the mortar into the right places. I felt the mortar wasn't filling the joint as well because of its, consistency. It had a more gluey texture to it today, more sticky texture, and that can be the difference between the joints being filled and your joints being a little bit empty sometimes. It can also vary with the brick. As you can see, these bricks have very large holes in them, so it's taking a real big pile of mortar on the wall to fill the joint effectively. And that's whether you're using that's a lot of the time because I'm using the pick and dip method. But even with using traditional, I was using traditional on the video on Friday and putting the V's in my spread, which did help fill the joint. I'm not going to lie, it did help fill the joint, but the amount of time and effort and the effect on the speed it just wasn't worth doing. It was a lot more hassle for the sake of an extra couple of minutes when you're jointing, just grabbing a bit of gobble off your trowel to your jointer, just filling in them couple of gaps it leaves is nothing compared to the time and effort you save laying the brick. A lot of guys who just always do traditional, or all the guys who aren't going to change the ways, will say all day long that you're not filling the joint, you're not doing this, but the amount of extra movement you're having to do when laying the bricks is phenomenal. Like I'm shocked every day by the amount of bricks I lay, to the effort I've had to put in. Like every day feels like a steady day to me, and I'm doing the amount of work that I'd have to absolutely kill myself for before. So the pick and dip method isn't always about just speeding yourself up, but it's about making your day a lot easier. Another thing that I've been doing also is within the last week or two, I've been really honing in the pick and dip to just make my days easier. I'm about 19 stone. I'm not the fittest of people. Obviously my other account I train for powerlifting, but I'm not the fittest of people. I'm not, I don't go running on weekends, so I've got to make my day as easy as possible. So I've started stacking the bricks up to around chest height, 3x3s every 4 or 5 course. So I'll stack them up right high, do about 3 or 4 course, and then they'll go all the way down till about when they get to my knee. And as soon as I've got a bend below my knee, because it's going to change for the individual, because I've got fairly long arms, so I can still reach to my knee without having to bend my upper back at all. But as soon as I reach about my knee height with the bricks, I start stacking them back up. I normally finish the course I'm on if they get into knee height, stack them